Here with Helen and Barry Gehrig, and apparently their first date was at the Indianapolis 500. Can you guys talk about that?
I met Barry when we were working at General Electric in 1964, and one of the first dates we had was he invited me to go to the time trials at the Indianapolis 500. I had never been there before, so it was a great day.
Wow. And what kind of brought the idea of bringing your, just on the first date to the Indy 500 or just to the time trials?
Well, obviously it was in May, and I'd been there to the 3 races prior to that, 61, 62, and 63. That was my first 3 that I went to. And so she seemed to have some interest, and so it was a good place to go for the day. And then we started in 1965 going to the races, and went 30-some years after that.
So you've been going to the races, and you guys are like very interested, like race type family, always going annually. When's the last time you went? Or just go ahead on the last question I asked.
Yeah, we don't go now. We haven't gone since the mid-90s, I think we decided. But we did for a long time.
Okay, and I want to go back to that first date. I just want to know how you felt. Is it a guy you just met and he's like, hey, want to go to the time trials with me? And
Well, I had never been to the track before. I was very amazed to know that I was at a racetrack and could not see completely around the track.
Wow.
Because the track's 2.5 miles around. There was places that you stood or sat and you could not see the car go completely around the track. So I think that was the most amazing thing as a young person, because I always thought a racetrack, when you sat in the bleachers, you always sat and watched the cars go around and round, and there you cannot do it. But the speed, I think, was the most amazing thing to me, is how fast they went in such little cars.
Mm. And I'll go ahead.
But we worked together. It wasn't just like that. It's the first time we ever seen each other. We worked together at General Electric, so we knew each other from that, so it was not like 2 strangers.
Hey, want to go to the Indy 500?
Right.
Yeah. Did you guys go to the actual race?
Not that year. We started the next year, 1965.
And you've gone for, like you said, 30 years?
Well, while I worked down there for 10 or 12 years in the garage area, safety patrol. Her and the 2 daughters continued to go to the race while I worked down there. Then when I quit working, I worked the 2 time trial weekends and the day of the race. And then we went from 3 tickets back to 4 tickets, and then we continued to go for another few years, and then we had some other things to do on Memorial Day and kind of dropped out at that point. So.
Okay, and so you say you worked in the actual track.
Yes.
And what was that experience like?
Well, it was great because I was fortunate enough to get in and work the garage area and the pit area. And so I was able to be amongst the drivers, amongst the cars, as they come in and out of the track or in the pits, or I had free leeway just to patrol any of those areas. So you really got a close look at what really went on in the garage area, in the pit area, and the mechanics and the drivers. It was fun.
And what do you think was the most interesting part of that job on the Indy 500 track?
The most interesting, I guess, was the difference between being there and being involved and sitting in the stands and watching just the cars go around. Mm. Because I was there before the time trials. I was there after everybody got done and all the gates closed and the people were working. I actually worked when the old garages was there and when the new garages were there.
So you got to see both sides.
So I've seen both sides. Very, very crowded, very, very old, tight quarters to where, very, very spacious. Some drivers were very friendly, some were not. The other thing was to just know how enormous it was when one of them was in an accident, a major accident, because you were right there. We had to, keep people back. We had to be within 5-10 feet of that very, very badly damaged car and know that there was somebody actual sitting in that thing driving it when it hit that hard. yesterday was a prime example. If you've seen on TV, they had a very bad accident down there yesterday.
Oh, during the time trials?
It wasn't time
Oh, it
trials.
was just
Time trials
practice.
don't start until
Practice.
Saturday,
Okay.
tomorrow. But the lady from Switzerland, totally destroyed her car.
Wow.
And it's those kind of things that really make you appreciate, I guess, the danger involved, so.
You know, the danger and the skill of the drivers, I mean, as they race. And have you met any of those famous drivers in the past 30 years? Just working there, or
Well,
just even being around the track?
Met, yes, but personally, no. Was out one evening with A.J. Foyt when he raced a semi truck at Indiana State Fair grounds. We went out with two of us. Was invited to go out with him and have dinner and do that. So he's probably the most notable one I've ever spent any time with. He was very friendly, and, you know, very out of the limelight, very much different.
Oh yeah, I can see how it is. Well, guys, I'm going.
Mario Andretti was my favorite driver, and the year he won in 1969, I was not there. I was very disappointed.
The 1 year you missed.
The 1 year I missed. I stayed home with the kids. They were little, and so I missed my favorite driver, but he doesn't drive anymore, but he still was one of my favorites.
Sounds good. And just overall, the Indy 500, just the aura around it, and the question I'm trying to say is, like, are you guys looking forward to this weekend, this Memorial Weekend as the driver? I know you guys aren't going down there, but just watching the race in general.
But we'll watch time trials tomorrow and Sunday, and obviously the race next Sunday. And we've had some very interesting, you know, race days. You know, the rain and the cold and the accidents. A lot of memories.
Yeah,
a lot of memories there.
But for several years, my whole family, my father, mother, 2 sisters, brother-in-law's niece, our children, Barry and I all had tickets. We met at my sister's house, who lived in Indianapolis, for the weekend. We spent the whole weekend there, had a great time as a family, always went to the race, and we really had a great time.
I did. I guess it all started with that first day.
Yeah, it did, yes.
So.
That's pretty exciting.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps up the interview. I just want to thank you guys, Helen and is it Barry? Barry, Gerigs, and just want to thank you guys. I'm off camera, but I'm Justin Sheehan, and we just want to thank them once again for this great interview. Just another great story on the Indy 500. I mean, the first date. I mean, what kind? That's just I don't know how any guy can top that. So we'll give it to Mr. Barry Gerigs. I'm Justin Sheehan for NewHaven500.com and NewHavenBulletin.com. Thank you.